Hi everybody, and welcome to Survival Dads. So in this video I want to talk about the Zelter Shelter in its tarp configuration and kind of give my thoughts on it, its positives, negatives, and show off some of its features. So this will be a review of sorts. It's not a full review because I forgot to bring some paracord to set up a ridgeline, so I'm just going to be focusing on the actual tent configuration itself. But I think it would be a useful video for those on the fence about whether they should get this awesome sleep system. So first things first, I'll kind of give you a tour of the shelter itself, then I'll run through some of the positives and negatives to owning and using this bit of kit. So stick around and I hope you like it. Okay, so firstly some of the negatives. There's no bug net. This isn't a problem if you are hiking and then it starts to get dark, you set up and you jump in, which I kind of think this shelter is kind of designed for that situation. But if you're like me, who likes to chill and soak in the atmosphere before turning in, a bug net is useful for that. It is super breathable, so you can actually just shut it right up and not worry about the bugs getting to you. But you know, you don't get to see the outdoors, so that's a bit of a negative, but there are ways around it. You could attach your own bug net to it, and I believe they are working on a bug net concept for this also. So it's not the end of the world. Another possible negative could be if you're really tall. I'm 5'10", and if I put my feet down into the foot box, I have a whole bunch of room at the top here. I can have my Rush 72 bag in there, and I'm comfortable. It's really nice. But if you're on the higher end of the 6 foot kind of scale, you know, 6'5" and so on, you may start to struggle. But I think most people, this will be absolutely fine. And if one of your friends has one, I'd recommend you try it out because it might be fine for you. What other negatives can I think of? None. That's pretty much it, actually. No bug net, and if you're really tall, maybe it'll be an issue. What about some of the positives then? There's quite a few. For me, number one is its breathability. There are no vents on the outside of the Zelter. It doesn't need any. It is made out of a super breathable material. I've used this now for about 8 or 9 overnighters, and condensation minimal to none. Like, honestly, I'm impressed. Yeah, and that's with it totally zipped up. I hate bugs, so I don't want crawlies climbing in, so I'll make sure it's all zipped up, no condensation whatsoever. So that's number one. Secondly is definitely going to be the ease of setup. Honestly, I can get this up in about a minute 10, minute 20 seconds. That's if I'm slowing down for a video. Setup is super easy. I've done videos on that, so make sure you check them out. Setup super quick, and take down again super easy. You just simply undo the valve. If you're in a hurry, you can suck the air out, or you can just leave it to go down on its own. Roll it up, put it in a dry bag, and you're ready to go. Another thing is going to be the colour. I love this. They do a really bright orangey red colour. Useful if you're on a mountain, I suppose, but I tend to use most of my camping time out in the woods or the countryside like this. So this mystery green really does blend in well. I love it. Spend a lot of time on the beach, blends in well there as well. Another thing is going to be the waterproof rating. This has a 10,000 waterproof rating, which is really high. I've been in some torrential downpours in this. Well, number one, it sounds amazing when you're in there. It lulls you off to sleep. And not a single molecule of water made it through. I love it. This material, I don't know what it is. I want all my clothes made out of this. I love it. It's perfect. So its waterproof rating is super high. Breathability is super high. It's a perfect emergency shelter or tent like I use it. I love it. What else? So it's covered in tie down points. The one I kind of use the most is this one here. If it's really windy, I may put some paracord in here, another peg, and just pull it out kind of helps hold it all together. But if blown up correctly, it holds its own in the rain and the wind really well. Windy conditions aren't a problem. It's got a nice sloped design, and I've noticed it doesn't get buffeted around too much once it's pulled nice and tight. So again, perfect in the rain, due to all the tie points and all the corners, which kind of helps it into a tarp and a kind of like open bivvy kind of shelter as well, which is awesome. Again, that leads actually onto another positive as well, the fact that this is a multi-function piece of kit. You can take a hammock with you, you can set a hammock up and use this as a tarp over your hammock. I love that idea. I didn't bring any ridgeline with me today, I'm an idiot. I would have been able to show you, but you can check out the channel and I'm sure you'll find some content of me using this as a tarp. If you aren't afraid of the bugs and you want to sleep out on the forest floor, wherever you like, you can actually unzip the whole thing and set up, using your own imagination, a number of different like bivvy setups. It's really cool. You can use the inflatable poles as kind of like self-standing poles, and you can kind of get in and have nice and spread out, and it's perfect. Really is really nice shelter. So that's the positives and negatives taken care of. What I'll do now is I'll give you a quick whistle-stop tour and show you what it's all about. I'll also get in and give you a kind of size comparison. So let's do it. Okay, so here is the valve which you blow into. One valve and it blows up all sections of the inflatable pole system. So 1, 2, 3, all connected. You haven't got to do any maintenance or anything, that's just how it is. Inside you have a nice little loop so you can attach a light, so if you're reading or preparing your adventure the next day, that's all ready to go. You have a zip running down the length, so you can open it up and use it as a different bivvy setup if you'd like to. You have double zips. These are also waterproof, so no water is getting in there. I love it. Tie down point, which I mentioned, and peg loops and more tie downs and the far corners. So again, this is the side with the zip, goes full length. Again, waterproof zip, no water's getting through there. Here is the foot box that I mentioned. If you're really tall, I want to tuck your feet in there. Really cool little design. And then you have the ridge. On this side here, you have the elastic, which I normally use to tuck the door into. We can actually roll the shelter up into these loops here, and then slip it into dry bag. I generally don't need to do that, so I don't. Here is the actual door itself, with the tied down point here. What you can do is actually kind of make yourself kind of like a half vestibule here. So if you wanted to do some cooking in the morning, you can cook in front of your shelter, protected by most of the wind and the rain. I'll just zip it up. I'll have to do one-handed. Okay, so you have the double zip here, so you can zip it up from the inside and the outside as well, and the zip at the bottom. Again, hard to do when you're holding the camera. There we go. So you're all tucked in, protected from the rain, the wind and the elements. Okay, I'll get in and show you what it looks like. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I am 5'10". I'm able to just about sit inside this. So not only are you protected when laying down, you can also sit down and enjoy the outdoors. Time to get in. Okay, so here is me with my feet not in the vestibule. If I go to the side here, I have all this room here. I can get a fairly decent sized backpack in here with me. Time to get in the vestibule. The foot box. Okay, so I'm now, got off a fly. I'm now in the actual vestibule itself. There's loads of room here, honestly. There's enough room in here for a dog, if I had a dog with me. Although, I might get stinky in the night. plenty of room, and the headroom as well. That's the thing that I like about this over a hooped bivvy. You have plenty of room, there's no feeling of claustrophobia whatsoever. I regret putting this hoodie on, I'm boiling. But yeah, so that is the Zelter Shelter. I hope this video has been useful to you. If you're interested in checking it out, I'll put the relevant links in the description below. Thanks for watching, stay safe, get outdoors, and I'll see you soon.